in 1910. And that's what Chicago looked like. Imagine what it must have been like for someone like Tom Williams to try to break in a product to an audience that looked like this. Back in those days, virtue was considered beauty. A man married a woman because she was virtuous, not because she was beautiful. The Gibson girl was the true reign of beauty. Eyes, as a matter of fact, were not even considered an important part of the face. If you can imagine that you would go out and have a little bit of rouge, a little bit of lipstick, maybe some powder, but the eyes were the one feature on the face back at the turn of the century that was neglected. This was the true sign of beauty. This is what women were taught by their mothers. It was Queen Victoria. Tom Lyle Williams was 19 years old when Maybelline was first introduced. He decided that he wanted to make catalogs his life's work, just like we sell today on the internet. Back then, starting to sell a product through a catalog was the way to really become successful. But to be able to make his dream come true, he had to get $500 to do something, and he had to think of a product that would sell. Well, he knew that his brother Noel was engaged to Frances, and that he'd been working for a whole year to earn that $500 so that he could get married and start his life with Frances. Then one day, Mabel, his sister, came to Chicago, and while she was cooking something over the stove, she accidentally singed her eyebrows and eyelashes. Well, there she was trying to remedy the situation, and she mixed a little charcoal with a little Vaseline, and she dabbed it on her little sparse eyebrows and eyelashes, and just at that moment, Tom Lyle, her brother, walked in and said, "What are you doing? You look like some of the silent film stars." Tom Lyle had worked in Nickelodeon for a while, and he was one of the first people to really recognize when the Hollywood stars wore the makeup that was so dark, and the close-up was bringing for the first time to the public the awareness that the eyes were a very important feature of the face. Well, so Tom Lyle and his family, here they are. That's my grandfather, Preston, Eva, Tom Lyle, Mabel in the center, Noel, and the parents, Susan and T.J. Williams. Well, they moved off the farm and they followed Tom Lyle to Chicago because Tom Lyle decided that if he could get the $500, if he could convince his brother to postpone that wedding for 1 year. Back then, that meant no sex for a year. You saw the pictures. That he promised that he could possibly make a great success in his catalog business. Well, at the same time, as you can see, the public was beginning to accept a little bit of risque beauty. And of course, who would take the most advantage of that but Hollywood? So now, for the first time in history, women were beginning to go to the theater and see the most beautiful stars, people that they didn't see in their everyday lives on the farm or even in the cities at that time. And of course, one of the most beautiful was Mary Pickford. I mean, even today, you can imagine her walking in this room and just stealing the scene. These were the women that were bringing the eyes to the screen and to the public. So we were going from this to the first Maybelline model, who was Ethel Clayton, who you can see was naturally beautiful and appeared in one of the first Maybelline ads. And here she is again. Before Maybelline became Maybelline, it was Lash Brownie. Tom Lyle changed the name from Lash Brownie to Maybelline in honor of his sister Mabel, who gave him the idea. And the genius behind Tom Lyle was to use Hollywood actresses to represent his product. And of course, he used the most beautiful actresses. And he also wrote this book, introducing to the public, by Maybell Laboratories, the beautiful woman. But this time, it wasn't just rouge or lipstick, it was Lash Brownie. Because now, ladies, it's time to accentuate your eyes. And this is one of the first Lash Brownie products, ads that Tom Lyle designed and put out there. Before and after using Lash Brownie.